Black Business Network's Black Business Olympics. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Now, our next speaker is Victor Johnson. Victor Johnson is a youth advocate, real estate investing coach, and published author based out of the Dallas Fort Worth, Texas area. He is a community outreach coordinator on the mortgage team for Prosperity Bank, creating ownership opportunities for more Black homeowners in the Texas and states of Texas and Oklahoma. Victor is the author of Proven Pathways to Wealth and Happiness and has impacted well over 250,000 lives through his social media and YouTube channel, Create Your Future Self. Victor's brand of business and real estate coaching has created dozens of successful real estate investors, and Victor works with groups, organizations, schools, and individuals to help them all become victorious in life, business, and even health. Let's welcome Victor Johnson. I present to you Victor Johnson. Welcome, Victor.
Oh, hello, Eartha Watts Hicks. How are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm good. And I'm very eager to hear more about what you do in real estate and helping Black homeowners get into that house, that dream house that they want, and especially about your book and some of your insights. So please tell us what came first. Was it the real estate or was it the book?
So it was definitely the real estate. I got involved with real estate investing about 9 years ago now. And it was the journey that I went through to get to that point that spawned the book. Because I had already gotten pretty successful, about 5 rental properties under my hand, and people were asking me questions. And so I decided to write the book, Proven Pathways to Wealth and Happiness, to help more people understand the mindset I had to go through, the specific actions I had to take, and ultimately how I was able, with my wife, to build our rental property portfolio.
Wow. Wow. Now, I have two questions. Well, I have a whole bunch of questions, not just two. But my curiosity leads me to wonder, what did you study in college?
So, and full transparency, I didn't finish college, but I've been a constant learner. But in college, I did study psychology and, of course, the basics, that they give you with English and math and whatnot. But I didn't finish. I was a young dad at the age of 21. I had already had 3 kids, and I had to work. And so I just am an avid reader. I'm always looking for rocks to uncover information on. And I'm not saying college is not a great thing. For me, I haven't gone that route, and it has not hindered my growth. Ultimately, it probably delayed it, but it has not hindered it. And so, no, I haven't studied in college. I don't have a college degree to this day.
Well, you know what? Your journey is inspiring because you've done it without, and you still managed to find this range of success for yourself and others.
Absolutely.
So please tell us, who is this book good for?
This book is for anyone out there, typically that's in their age of 25 to about 45, but it can go beyond that has ran up against obstacles, that has felt hardships, that is stressed out, trying to figure out how to overcome and to level up in life. And ultimately, if credit has been a challenge for you, this book will be great for you. If career growth has been a challenge for you, this book will be great for you. If real estate investing has been a goal of yours, this book is for you. And really, any entrepreneur minded person who's trying to figure out the mindset that they need to put in place in order to achieve those goals, this book is for you.
Wow. Wow. Now, as a professional speaker, how did you get into that?
Ah, I love that question. So, you know, there's a saying in the Bible that says, your gift will make room for you. And I was first introduced to speaking publicly at the age of 15, where I was in this boys club and called the Omega Boys Club, which is still around to this day, by the way. They sent me into juvenile centers in San Francisco, California, to speak to other 15-year-old boys that had gotten in trouble. Some of them, my friends and classmates. And the goal for me at that time was to talk to them and encourage them to come to the boys club when they got out, so they could be around other guys that, you know, were their age, other mentors that were helping us become better men, higher integrity, and really just a place where we could eat, play basketball, and be around positive male role models. That's the introduction. But how I became a professional speaker was because when you write a book, oftentimes people want you to come and speak about the book. And back in 2019, I had gone full time as an entrepreneur, and my book had been released in December of 2018. And so I was doing outreach to colleges, corporate companies, just looking for an opportunity to come and talk about my book and my journey. And colleges started booking me, corporate companies started booking me, entrepreneur groups started booking me. And turns out that that is truly a gift of mine. I'm a very dynamic, energetic, and insightful speaker. And so I was able to relate with people on a different level than many of the other speakers they were bringing in. And that turned into a career that has been pretty successful for me, you know, outside of even what I do with real estate and for Prosperity Bank.
Wow. And what topics do you cover when you do your speaking engagements?
I love that. So financial literacy, I love speaking to people about how to get their finances together, how to improve their credit and their finances so that they can get approved for mortgages. So I speak on real estate investing, purchasing of homes. So home ownership, I do a lot of workshops on how to get into a mortgage so you can become approved for a loan. I also do tons of leadership and sales talks for entrepreneur groups and smaller businesses to help them with training up their new leaders, so their new managers, how to help them to maximize minutes, especially with call center teams and teams that have big production goals that they have to set. So I do a lot of those type of talks as well. But my favorites are speaking to my youth groups. I do a lot of youth organizations here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so I love to do inspiration, again, integrity, like people were pouring into me so many years ago. Now I get a chance to pay it full circle and pour back into young men and women in my community and actually in other places across the country at certain colleges.
Wow. Now, I love how you work with colleges, but why should colleges book you, or even an event promoter? Why should event promoters promote you or work with you?
Well, first of all, the biggest problem that event planners or event promoters have is bringing in speakers that can really get their crowd going. One, to be engaging, relatable, and to leave them with actionable insights. With me, that's not a problem. That's like the main thing that I'm going to do. Secondly, for the college level, again, being able to relate at that, you know, college age group, young men, young women, I just have a way to connect with them. It's very genuine. I really want to hear where their pain points are and share with them the stories of, again, being a young father, being a young business person that had to continue to level up in my business in order to overcome tons of financial challenges. And it's just the way that I connect. You know, some things you just have innately in you. And that's one of the things that I do. I'm an extremely talented speaker, and you can feel that energy and passion when I get on the stage. And I know my stuff. I know what I'm talking about. And I'm just not a comedian, but I do know how to get people engaged and excited from their seats. And I'm very observant of how audiences are moving, what's going on. And so I'm able to pivot and adjust my talks to make sure that I'm keeping people locked in. And that's something that event planners oftentimes are not going to get, even if they pay big dollars for speakers to come in. Even the names that you may be familiar with, they're not always able to be relatable. They're focused on themselves and what they're selling and not really connecting with what the audience needs are. And that's my specialty.
Now, I know it's Black History Month, and I especially know that Black high schools need to see Black men representing us from the career world. So
Yes.
when it comes to high school students, what can you offer to high school students, young men and still in high school?
So I have a youth program that we call Create Your Future Self Youth Program. And it actually has spun off into an eighth grade male group called the Pathfinders. I call it Pathfinders because we want these young men to create their own pathway and not get into high school and have to follow behind somebody else's bad habits or tendencies. And so, as again, a black man, one of the things that I'm able to bring is my genuine story. And guys relate to that, especially at that age group, being able to share that, I grew up in a single mom household. Many of the students in underserved communities are still dealing with a single parent, maybe not the mom, maybe it's a single dad. But
Mm-hmm.
that relatability is something that really helps me. And I really listen to these scholars. I like to call them scholars because they
Mm-hmm.
are growing into smarter and more intelligent people. And it's just a way that, with this program, I don't just do it myself. I bring in other experts from my industry, from my community that are doing tons of things. We bring in cybersecurity experts. We bring in people that are good with maybe social media, people that are relatable to what the young people are interested in these days. I'll bring in the mayor of the city council to introduce them to different aspects of civic responsibilities. And it's just having somebody, half the times, I'm going to be honest with you, Eartha, is that half the time they just want to be heard. They want to feel like they can be seen and heard. And you just got to keep showing up. A lot of times, especially as black men, young black men, people have let us down and not showing up consistently or promised to show up and not showing up. And half the battle is just being there for them on a consistent basis.
I mean, I love how you reach out and connect with them before they even get to high school, before these other influences come and whatever. You've shown them what a positive example is. So I
Yes.
think that's absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Um, Now, for us adults who are facing 2024 and who need some guidance on what we would like to do to be more successful in our year, what advice do you have for just us regular adults?
Tons. So I have a particular talk that I call "Be the Victor." Kind of see play on names there. See what I did there with my name. Anyway, be the victor. What is a victor? A victor is someone who has overcome adversity to achieve success, who has defeated an adversary. And by the time we're grown up, we have had several adversaries come into our path. Adversaries like credit, like poor income, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to deal with relationships, poor career choices, or things that we think we should have done differently. And we hold on to that. And honestly, by the time we become grown-ups, we've created this story around who we are. And that story dictates everything that we do. It could be the story of, well, my family, we always been broke, and so you get to tell this story like, well, maybe wealth and abundance is not part of my story, and so every decision, every opportunity comes your way. A lot of times we're shooting it down because we don't see ourselves as beyond that stage in life. And so with Be the Victor, I give 4 keys and I call it Get in the Game. And game is an acronym, GAME. G is to express gratitude, first of all. No matter what you feel like you are dealing with or how much struggle you might be dealing with or stress or adversity, there's something that you could be grateful for. How about the fact that you're actually here listening to this podcast, to this interview right now? There's some folks that woke up dead in the mug today, right? I actually learned today about a young lady who used to work with me in Atlanta for about 15 years. And I just found out through Facebook that she died last Saturday. And this is a good person, right? And so every day is not promised to us. So I have this exercise when I wake up every morning, before I get out of the bed, before I'm really starting to move around, I think of 10 things from the previous 24 hours that I'm grateful for. And that's an exercise I think every human being should do because, we take things for granted. The food that we ate, the millions of people that you drive by in the course of a week and you made it home safely all those days. Like that's something to be grateful for. So the G is gratitude. The A in game is accountability. So you need to have someone that will hold, or a group that will hold you accountable to the things that you said that you wanted to accomplish for yourself. I'm fortunate. I'm part of a few different groups, but one particular is called King's Accountability Group. These are men across the country who are forcing and challenging each other to be the best version of ourselves. And you need people that will not just rah you, but tell you, hey, you said you wanted to lose weight. You wanted to build some muscle. Did you drop down and do your 25 push-ups today? Let me see it. Record it. Send it to me, right? You need someone to hold you accountable. So that's the A, is accountability. The M is actually my favorite, Eartha, and that is create a mantra for yourself. You know, one of the greatest mantras ever was by Muhammad Ali. I am the greatest. He said that I was saying that I was the greatest 2 years before I became the number one heavyweight boxer in the world. You have to speak this greatness into your life, and creating mantras around I am, whatever that is that you want. I am successful. I am debt free. I am abundant. I am healthy. These things start to attract to you. So that's the M. And the last piece is the E. And this is probably the most important of all. And that's execute. Every day you must execute on that goal that you are pursuing. You can't sit on the sidelines. There's this thing that we say 0 days off. There are no days off. Even on a Sunday or a day that you have to relax, you can still relax and pull out that laptop, text somebody, do something, read something that's going to move that needle further and further, because either you're moving forward or you're moving backwards. You're not staying stagnant. It's just not the way this world operates. So that's a long answer for you, but get in the game, GAME.
Wow. And, I've heard a lot of acronyms, but I love yours. Gratitude, accountability as in an accountability partner or group, mantra to something to say to ourselves, to empower ourselves and remind ourselves every single day, and execution. I mean, you summed it up perfectly. That's better than a whole bunch of business acronyms I done heard of, and I just met you today.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Now, what are your plans for yourself for the next 5 years?
Oh, beautiful question. So number one is to multiply myself. And I got to give credit to Dr. Kelly, because we had a nice, very intense talk before I even came on today about multiplying ourselves, right? Because we cannot, if we're truly going to serve the earth, we can't just do it from one body, because that body gets worn down. It gets broken down. It gets tied up with other things. We have families. We have other things that we want to do to grow as individuals. And so being able to maximize what I do as a speaker, as a program coordinator for these youth organizations, as a real estate investor, I want to continue to educate other people, as many people as possible, on how they can be successful in doing those things. And then they can go out and create other people who can be successful in those areas as well. And so over the next 5 years, I expect to have impacted at least 10,000 young people through our youth organization, Create Your Future Self Youth Program. I expect to have helped our King's Accountability Group, which I'm the treasurer of, which is a nonprofit 501c3 group, to help us to have impacted over 25,000, not only young people, but also grown-ups, right? To build I guess on a personal level, to build a land acquisition of 10 plus acres where my family can come, we can build our own properties on there, and my family that's all over the country and actually some across the world can come, and we can celebrate each other, teach the ones coming behind us about things so that our family legacy lives on, and just continue to be in perfect health for the rest of my days. I want to die in perfect health. And I don't care if that's at 100 years old or 120 years old. I want to have perfect health all the way to the last breath that I have on this earth.
Wow. Now you have the work which you do getting Black homeowners in homes. You have your own personal work that you do for your own real estate investing.
Yes.
You have the speaking engagements that you do from colleges to colleges, schools to schools. You have the nonprofit work that you do, and then you work with the youth. So how do you keep up with all of it? Where does this energy come from? Do they sell it in the grocery store? Or is there a recipe in your book somewhere?
So again, another great question. So part of it is that I'm just a driven person. My why is my family. I'm now, whether you can see it or not, I got grays popping out of the chin. So I now have two grandbabies that are very, very important to me. And I want to be able to have left something, for them to look back and say, Pawpaw Nico was really something. They call me Pawpaw Nico. My middle name is Vanico. And I guess one of the things that helps me manage all that is I am very, very big on scheduling. So though it sounds like a lot, I manage things into segments. So with my King's Accountability stuff, that's usually a weekly call, and our board meetings are every once a month. So I'm able to do what I do for them and jump on my calls every week for our accountability calls. Obviously, the biggest thing right now that's taking time for me is my speaking engagements and what I do at Prosperity Bank. I literally have speaking engagements every day. Half of the week is with what I'm doing with the bank, and the other half is my own engagements, which they actually lend to each other. When I'm speaking to adults about overcoming adversity or getting into real estate, it just so happens that most of the time that benefits the bank that I'm part of, because we want to create more Black homeowners. So if I'm speaking to people about becoming homeowners, that helps the bank. And when I'm out at these engagements for the bank, usually I'm able to share some of the other things I do from a youth perspective and things like that, or investing. And so it's just, I am able to add value. There's a lot of congruence in what I do. It's not like I'm doing plumbing over here and I'm a roofer over there and I'm a author over here. I wrote a book and the book has been written. So that book is doing what it's doing. And it just so happens that I stay active in doing things like this, and people reach out to me for whatever value they feel that they can perceive from me. And it just works out. I have some systems in place, but I think I'm at the point now where I definitely want to replicate myself so that I can, one, impact, like these school districts are really getting to love what we're doing with the Pathfinders group. And I can't show up and do that on my own, right? I've got to create more victors, if you will, to run these programs.
Wow. Now, just from sitting here and having this conversation with you, I can see that you are a rock solid role model.
Thank you.
And I wonder, growing up, when you were growing up, who was your role model?
Wow. So I'm going to give you a couple names. At the age of 15, I mentioned I was with my mom. We were living in a city called Richmond, California, just outside of Oakland. And my dad was in my life, but we didn't have internet. It was phone calls, right? And that was, when we talked. But there was one man particularly who really was involved with my life and got me to start speaking and all those type of things. And that's Dr. Joseph Marshall. Dr. Joseph Marshall runs the Omega Boys Club. They also have a group called Alive and Free, and he has sent thousands of students to college, male and female, over the last 30 years. He literally texted me today and said, today marks our 37th year anniversary from the day we launched Omega Boys Club. And it just, really warmed my heart. So Dr. Joseph Marshall was one. I would definitely give props to my dad, Ernest Victor Johnson, who's still alive in Atlanta. Former Black Panther. He retired from 3 different companies, the military and 2 different organizations. Avid reader. He always pushed me and my sisters and my brothers to read, be avid readers and learners. My mom, Valerie K. Lewis, who is still alive as well, was an entrepreneur from the day she came out the womb. And she taught me to have an entrepreneur mindedness, to be your own owner, to be able to control as much as you can. And so, and I got to give props to my wife, Latasha Johnson. I've been married for 13 years now. And over these last few years, as I've explored these different business ventures, she's kept me on even keel. We bounce ideas off of each other. We work with each other well. And that's what I would say really for a lot of the folks listening in are Black business owners, right? And so, and many of them are couples that are running businesses, but it's important that you separate the business from your personal life, right? And we had to learn that in different ways, but carve out a time in the day or a day in the week or whatever where there's no business talk. You all are focusing on yourselves, loving on each other, what your family goals are, what your financial goals are, and all those and health goals. And so, anyway, to your original question, Dr. Joseph Marshall, my dad, Victor Johnson, my mom, Valerie K. Lewis. Those are a few that I'll mention right now.
Right, and thank you for mentioning that one piece, because I've known several couples who like tag team on the business end, but I never thought to ask if they carved out time to not talk about business at all.
You have to, because you'll be sitting laying in bed at 11 o'clock at night. It's supposed to be personal time, and you talking about the numbers, or we got this client we got to meet with. Now y'all got to carve that out. Otherwise, where's the line, right? Are you married or are you just business partners, right? And so, again, me being a driven person, I've had to, pull that back, bro. Like the clock is off. Like now it's time to be a husband and be a father. And so, that's a very important thing, especially us as men. We gotta, the grass is greener where it's being watered, brothers.
Okay, now I hope the gentlemen out there are listening to that one. Well, so for the next 5 years, what plans are in the works? What ideas do you have going?
So for sure, again, acquiring some family land is something that's big for me. But I see 5 years from now being in a position where I'm really running the organizations to where I have people coming to me for guidance on how to train the people that they're training. Like now, things are really systematically run. We've multiplied ourselves, which means that we've impacted more people. And ultimately, the one thing that I see myself doing deep into my years would be, the speaking. I want to be on as many stages as possible because I get energy from people. I'm a very social, connecting person. So I love to see those eyes when they grasp a concept that, I've been hammering out on stage. And I love to see that. I love the engagement when people reach out to me when I come off a stage and say, Victor, the way you said that made such a big difference. I've been hearing it this way, but it just landed differently the way you said it. And I just love that. And to have people reach back out months or years later and say, I saw you speak in Atlanta at this thing and it changed my entire life. I was able to take that nugget and do this. And now this is what I'm doing. And so, we're all here to serve, Eartha. We this is a short time that we pass through this thing called Earth. And so we got to make sure that we're leaving more than we take from it. And so that's going to be something that I see myself, speaking to tens of thousands of people on stages. And that's not an arrogant thing. That's just me wanting to spread my gift to as many people as possible to leave whatever I can for folks to make a difference in their lives.
Wow. Now, is the Create Your Future Self youth program a program specifically for boys or for both boys and girls?
So that program is actually for youth between ages 13 to 25, male and female, because we've done that program at colleges, high schools. The Pathfinders group is the one. Pathfinders Leadership Program is specifically an 8th grade male mentorship program at this time. And so that program is where, we just feel like it's important right now, especially for these young Black men or men of color, that we talk to them. Again, they're not always having positive male role models around. So I make sure that I'm infusing them with that, teaching them about how to handshake, look people in your eyes, how to have proper hygiene, how to be appropriate with females, how to study properly, how to schedule your day out, how to understand your finances and numbers, and what's the difference between needs and wants, and just all of these different things. And, it's a slow grind. It's a slow weekly process, but I'm seeing young men that came to me in September. Here we are in February, and I was at a Black History Month event at one of the schools, and these young men are in the choir. They're running up to me, shaking my hand, looking me in my eyes like, my mom and dad are here tonight, man. They're going to hear me sing tonight. Like, just how proud and much more confidence that they have. And for me, that's all I need is just seeing these young men because Dr. Marshall did it for me. And I remember how that felt. And so that particularly is a all male program at the 8th grade level.
And I think that's like really, really important because there are so many young Black men who may grow up in, with their mom, single mother, single
Yeah.
parent household, and then they can go through all 12 years of education without encountering a Black educator.
Yeah.
So, in those instances, they need to see reflections of themselves doing something positive. So, the fact that you, one, serve as a role model, a positive example, someone that they can emulate just by the example that you set and the decisions you make, and being a family man, I think that's powerful. That's a lesson right there, even if they don't get the book, and we want them to get the book too.
Yes.
But you are a reflection of what you would like for them to achieve for themselves. So that's wonderful.
You got to live it. You can't just talk it. Words are just words, but how you move, and I'm in the community. So kids can see me at the local grocery store and I still carry myself the same way. I'm not always in my blazer, but they know me as being the guy in his blazer and dressed nice. Got a little soft, light scent following behind me that's pleasant and pleasing. And I'm always talking about books and my schedule. And it's important to me to speak with intelligence and carry myself that way and drop me in any room. I don't care if politicians or doctors or lawyers, whoever, I'm confident in who I am. And I want them to learn that same thing. You are valuable just as you are. There's no other you. So you are the one of a kind model up there. So I want to make sure that I mention my website, www.bethevictor.us www.bethevictor.us. At that site, you'll be able to get a copy of the book, Proven Pathways to Wealth and Happiness. You'll be able to book me as a speaker, see some of my key speaking topics. There's a youth program page where you can see about Create Your Future Self youth program and a sub page for Pathfinder specifically. And listen, what's the benefit that people will get by dealing with me? You just mentioned it. Somebody who's authentic, somebody who is living the way that they talk and wants to spread that same joy and happiness and confidence to others, whether it's a grown up or a child. And so, do business with me. I really want to earn people's business and show that we're creating something that's going to have impact on not only you, your family, but also your community.
That's wonderful. Now, can you please let us know how to subscribe to your YouTube channel and any social networks that are best to follow?
Absolutely. So on YouTube, we have a channel called Create Your Future Self. Keep it simple. Create Your Future Self. You go there, please subscribe. I got over 200 videos on there, everything from credit improvement tips, budgeting tips, real estate investing guidance, how to get your rental property up and running, how to manage those properties, how to be a better leader, how to do sales. Like, we got stuff on there that goes way back to 2019. So I would love for people to subscribe there. I do something called Mindset Monday. It is a weekly post on Mondays that I post on my LinkedIn page, which is Victor V. Johnson, middle initial V, Victor V. Johnson. Follow me on LinkedIn. You'll see everything that I'm doing there. I love that platform. I got well over 6,000 connections there. And I take pride in actually messaging with people and connecting with people legitimately, not just clicking and adding names on there, but really trying to connect genuinely with people. And on my Instagram page, Victor V _Johnson, Victor V _Johnson.
Victor V _Johnson. Now, as far as your writer publisher journey, did you independently publish? And with writing and publishing, what were your challenges?
So I did independently publish. I went through. So funny thing is, a family member of mine is one of Oprah Winfrey's ambassadors. And so her name is Tierra Destiny, and you can find her at tierradestiny.com. She has a publishing company called TDR Brands Publishing. And I went to her when I had this concept of writing the book back in 2018. And I wanted to do business with somebody in my family to help support her. But her team is so professional, so solid that they helped publish the book. And my process for writing the book was interesting. So I got to tell a brief story. So on May 30th or so of 2018, I closed on 2 rental properties on my lunch break. Say that again. I bought 2 rental properties on my lunch break. I had 2 mobile notaries pull up to the house, one at 12 o'clock and one at about 12:45. And I closed on 2 properties from my dining room table and went back to work. And of course, I was so grateful, gratitude. I already mentioned that's part of the game, right? Is the gratitude. So I posted on my Facebook page, God is so good. To be in a position to purchase these 2 rental properties today is just a blessing. And so my sister, who lives in Atlanta, saw the post like, bro, what you out there doing in Dallas, man? What's happening? And so we had a call, and she said, would you be willing to jump on a call with me and some of my girlfriends, just to kind of share some of the tips and things to help you get those rental properties going. So we started doing a couple Zoom calls on Sundays, maybe 2 or 3 weeks in a row. And what I found, Eartha, was that it was probably 5 young ladies on the call. One was dealing with poor credit, if not more than one. One was dealing with lack of funds. The other one just didn't understand the process. All of them didn't understand the process. Another one was dealing with just the fear. Again, that story telling herself, like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I started thinking about it. I was like, man, I dealt with all that before I got my first rental property. And so I felt like if these 5 young women could go through that, and I was going through that, then there's tons of people out there to do it. Why don't I put my story in a book? And in the book, the subscript is Mindset, Real Estate, Results. Because the first part of this is to get your mind right.
Right.
I had to tackle my finances. Like, I had to really aggressively tackle my poor credit. I had to work on my personal development to increase my income through my work. And then as that income increased, I was able to get around, again, researching, learning, setting goals, creating mantras for myself about I am a successful real estate investor. I am a successful business owner. And that stuff, just people started coming into my world. And you mentioned, is there a tip for somebody, a grown-up that's going through these type of things? Here's the tip. Number one, make sure that you change your environment. You have to change your environment. If the people and the things that are around you are not lifting you up or not leading you towards what you want to go, that's the first sacrifice you got to make. Not to cut people off, but you got to move them into another box. And you visit that box when you're ready to. But this box is all about personal growth. And that box has books in it, podcasts like this. It has, YouTube videos in it. It has seminars in it that you're going to go to. It has other people that are doing beyond you in that box. And you got to just sit in there and be a protege and be willing to learn and grow from others that have successfully followed the roadmap. So that's the tip right there, is change your environment and create a space, like somewhere in your house, your garage. I don't care if it's in your car, if you got too many people in the house. You got to find a space where you could just meditate for 10 to 15 minutes a day in silence and really get locked in on what your goals are and just listen. Just listen in silence, and you'll get so much insights on what the next steps need to be. And you don't have to figure it all out at one time. You just need to take the next best step. So anyway, the question was about the book. I started writing that book after that second or third call, and I was aggressive. Within 60 days, I had my manuscript, and 90 days later, that book was released.
Wow. Now, I know as a woman, I like the idea of property investment. The scary part to me is managing the properties and the roof and the plumbing and the tenants. How do you make all of that manageable?
So I have created systems, and I'll share one with everybody. There's an app called apartments.com, or a website, apartments.com, that is really awesome. It allows you to list your property. It allows you to link your business bank account. Your tenants can make rent payments through that app, and it feeds that money to your bank account. You can communicate and create a maintenance app or a maintenance link there where your tenants can submit a maintenance request that you get instantly. And then, of course, again, back to relationships. You need to be able to have a handyman or a team that you can call on to supply you with those services when needed. And if you really don't want to touch it, you just put a management team in place. Obviously, that's going to cost you a portion of your earnings, but time is valuable too. And you ain't got time to be trying to call through Angie's List or whatever and figure out who you're going to send out there. So you just hire a management team and make sure that your numbers in your rent collection, and part of that is what I teach in my coaching program, but how to make sure that you're calculating out your numbers properly, following what the market rents are, so you're not over marketing your property too high a rent. But you got to have enough in there to cover any mortgage payments or taxes and insurance that you're paying on the property. You got to have your maintenance cost in there. And, you just need to make sure that you factored all that in, because the goal is to try to have at least some kind of profit every month from the rent that you collect. And in the meantime, you got property equity growth. You got the pay down of your mortgage. You got the equity capture in general from the market, just increasing in market values. Every city just about in the country has gone up 5 to 10% in equity value over the last 3 or 4 years since the pandemic. So you're getting all these different things. You get tons of tax benefits. So real estate investing is been one of the most popular ways for people to build wealth, for the average person to build wealth, just getting one little rental property at a time. Now my wife and I, we own a condo in Punta Cana with the same sister who I told you about. Now we've all partnered together and bought a free and clear condo down in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. And we just keep on pushing, keep striving, and but having that property management team may be the solution for people who don't want to have to deal with the maintenance aspect.
I love that answer. And I have a question, and it might sound a little silly, but I'm asking anyway.
Let's go.
How do you and your wife learn how to keep your expenses below your income?
Don't tell nobody. We got to work on it every day. It's literally discipline, right? It's just your why has to be so powerful, so intense for you that you're willing to make certain sacrifices. And a big part of it is really watching the dollars, right? There's one exercise I do in a workshop that I do is pull your bank statement for the last 3 months. And if you could print it off, it's even better, because there's a different learning modality when you're touching and looking at it in paper, right? But pulling that thing out and line for line, pull a highlighter out, grab that thing, you say, okay, this is considered wasteful spending. This too, we eating out too much over here. And you got to literally go line for line. And when my wife and I first did this, we were using this thing called mint.com. I don't even know if they're still around now. And Mint categorizes all your spending for you. And it'll show you got this percentage going towards rent. You got this percentage going towards eating out, childcare, automobile, and whatnot. And that first time we did it, we literally fell to the floor because our eating out expense was about $12.50. And this is about 12 years ago now. And we were paying rent at about $8.50. So we were literally spending $400 more a month to eat than we were to have a roof over our head. And so looking at that and seeing it, okay, I'm going to take the first step as the man of the house. Peanut butter and jelly for me. No more Applebee's and Red Lobster or whatever for lunch every day. Let me just start there. And that little $10, $15 a day turned into $75 a week, turned into $300 a month. The next time we looked at it, we realized that we had brought that number down by about $350 from the previous month. What I do with that $350, put it towards a collection account that I needed to pay off, or a credit card balance the next time around. And then my credit score starts going up. So you gotta get into the belief that, okay, there's a reason that I'm doing this, and that why really drives you to, limit your spending. And it really doesn't matter how much you make, whether it's $20,000 a month or $20,000 a year or whatever you're making, you got to spend less than you earn. It's just the only way to get there.
Wow. And it's funny. My uncle gave me a word of advice. He said, paying less for something doesn't save you a dime if you spend the difference.
Wow. Wise, sage wisdom right there. Woo.
That was my uncle's words of wisdom. So I remember that one, and I still carry it with me.
Yes.
But, Victor, please, please, please remind us how we can connect with you, where we can get your book, and how we can subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Thank you so much. So the primary place you can get all of that will be at www.bethevictor.us. Bethevictor.us. You can subscribe to that YouTube channel at Create Your Future Self. And that is definitely a place where you're going to get, I'm streaming live on there now. So you're going to be able to go back and watch this great video, this awesome interview that Eartha just did. But visit me, follow me. If it's something that you heard in here that inspires you, that helps you to level up, move to the next level, just take the first step and reach out to me. I would love to come out and speak to your group, to your sales team, to your leaders, to your youth, to your aspiring real estate investors. Get with me, bethevictor.us, bethevictor.us.
Thank you so much, Victor. This was a pleasure. Genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side. Wow, that was truly inspiring. And I hope those of us who weren't taking notes, I hope you refer back to this video on YouTube because, there's some great pointers there and some useful information. And you can follow Victor Johnson everywhere from his Instagram to YouTube, as well as on LinkedIn, where you can connect with him directly. Now, the Black Business Network has a mission, and the mission here is to raise funds for high school students going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. So you may go to www.blackbusinessexpo.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or use the QR code that's in the corner for Cash App that's on the screen there, or you can enter into the Cash App search window, $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Excuse me. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpo.USA. Every dollar counts, so we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. And we want to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors for February of 2024. NC100, Moody Capital Partners, Suede Soul, Lotus Richet's Coaching and Training, Carolina, Virginia Minority Suppliers Development Council, Step Management, BHS and Associates, Margie McLean Foundation Incorporated, Genius is Common, Earth Essentials, Mullane Shani Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic Act Design, Black Business Expo USA. Genius is Common, and I will see you all on the other side. Have a good evening.
I was born in a little village on the island of Haiti. Many deadly diseases pounded me. It is as if they were on a mission to end my existence on this earth. I refused to give up. In 1983, I left Haiti and came to the United States of America. And I came with $5, 2 shirts. I didn't speak any English. I came to Atlanta. I got a job. I was a doorman. I was a doorman with a dream. What I used to do, I used to come on stage. I'd rehearse this moment that I'm standing in front of you. That's the power of a dream. Maybe today is the day you begin acting as if you already have it. And then step out with full force. Take a risk. No condition is permanent. Don't let your situation distract you. You are chosen. You are called. You are born for a purpose in this life.
Sometimes you got to hear the news from the Black perspective, and more specifically, Black publishers. And that's exactly why you have to download the HeyTie app, the largest mobile app delivering breaking news, videos, and podcasts from 200 of your favorite Black publishers. Yes, 200 Black publishers delivering news as it happens, literally all in one app. Go to HAYTI.com or download the app in the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. It's completely free, along with information that you can trust, so go check them out.
Hello, I'm Dr. Eric Kelly III, the visionary strategist and founder of the Black Business Olympics. I invite you to showcase your Black-owned businesses on the Black Business Network global stage. The Black Business Olympics is a global Black Business Network platform that propels Black-owned businesses into the international spotlight. By showcasing your business on the Black Business Olympics platform, you can reach a worldwide audience of potential customers, partners, and investors. You can also establish yourself as a thought leader and expert in your field, attract lucrative partnerships, and more speaking engagements. In addition, the Black Business Olympics platform provides a valuable opportunity to connect and collaborate with like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals from around the world. This can lead to new business opportunities, ideas, and relationships. Finally, by sharing your story and expertise on the Black Business Olympics platform, you can inspire and empower others. This is a powerful way to make a positive impact on the world and leave a lasting legacy. If you are a Black-owned business owner, I encourage you to seize the opportunity to showcase your business on the Black Business Olympics platform. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make an indelible mark on the world. Be one of the 1,000 visionary entrepreneurs who are changing students' lives, shaping industries, and leaving an unforgettable legacy for their families. Unleash your voice on our global stage and watch your business thrive. Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Yes, the entire world. Just give me a call today at 919-308-9090.